YouTube is plagued with misleading passive income videos. You always see videos like, how did I make $10,000 a month? How did I make $5,000 in a day? And then you watch the video and they give you a little bit of information about exactly what they do, and then they try to get you to sign up for a free masterclass. Once you watch the masterclass, they try to sell you a $2,000 course. Oh, I'm sorry, $1,997 course. How you make passive income can actually be very simple. You know, if you want to make $10,000 a month, all you need to do is have $6 million to put into a savings account. 2% interest every year, that's $120,000 a year. $120,000 a year, that's $10,000 a month. Simple as that, right? That's it. We can all go home now. The problem is none of us have $6 million. So we watch these videos about secret ways to get passive income. The only thing that these videos get correct is you need knowledge. You need to know what you're doing. You can't expect to sit on the beach and watch money fly into your bank account without first setting something up to make that money, right? You need to have knowledge to know how to set these things up, and you're probably gonna really hate me for this, but you need capital. You need some sort of money that you can invest to set these streams up. These videos about how to make passive income for free is just BS. Someone's trying to sell you a dream so that they can sell you their product. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 10 no BS ways where you can make real passive income. There are many ways that people can generate passive income, but there's no real way to say what is best, because everyone's situation and background is very different. And what works for one person might not work for another. What you really wanna know is what is the best type of passive income for you. Now, since there's no best or worst, these aren't in any particular order. I'm going to save the last two for what I do for passive income and also what kind of passive income I'm trying to set up. So let's start off with the simple one that most people know. It's the 401k, IRA, and pensions. Basically the retirement plans. The pros to these types of retirement plans is that the 401k, a lot of companies offer matching. So if you put in a certain amount, your company will match it. So you basically get free money. They also have tax benefits because you can invest before paying taxes. Something like a Roth IRA, you invest money after you pay taxes, but when you actually go to withdraw the money when you're 60 or older, you don't have to pay taxes on the gains. Pensions are great, but you probably can't get them anymore because most places don't offer pensions unless you're working for the government or something. Now, the cons to these plans for passive income is that you need to wait until you're a certain age before you can start collecting them. For 401ks and IRAs, it's 59 and a half years old. For pensions, it's usually around 65. If you decide to take money out early, you have to pay a steep penalty. These are basically the most normal ways people get passive income so they can support themselves after they retire. Number 2, dividend stocks. Dividend stocks are basically stocks for companies that will pay you every single quarter. So every 3 months, you'll receive a certain amount of money from the company depending on how many shares of that stock you own. Now, the benefit to this is you get a fairly stable check every 3 months, and you can buy several companies so that you stagger out when you actually get paid, so you can get paid every single month or every couple days. These companies also have ratings on how likely they're able to pay out their dividends. You get to choose what you want to invest in. Now, the downside to this is it's actually a fairly active form of passive income, if that makes any sense. You have to actually manage what stocks to buy and when to sell if a stock is plummeting. So you kind of need to look at it, even though it's still considered passive. Number 3 is bonds, government bonds and corporate bonds. A bond is basically you lend money to a company or country and they promise to pay you back after a certain number of years, and they'll pay you interest every single year on that money that you lend them. Government bonds are fairly stable, but there's usually a lower interest rate. Corporate bonds have higher interest rates, but it has a higher risk because a company going out of business is much more likely than a country just disappearing. Bonds are seen as one of the safest investments, but with that safety comes a lower return. Number 4, investing in a business. I'm sure you've seen shows like Shark Tank, where investors can give businesses a certain amount of money for a percentage of their company. And as the company gets better, they pay their investor. Now for the businesses on Shark Tank, the investors become sort of like a partner. They help them build their businesses to make more money. Now there are things called silent partners where you just provide the capital. You just provide money, the company is run by somebody else, and if the business does well, you get paid a certain amount. You can make a lot of money from something like this. Now this is a high risk because businesses can fail like that. But if you're a person who's done business, you've run businesses yourself, you can kind of know what's gonna fail, what's not gonna fail. That's why in the beginning I said different sources of income can be better depending on a person's background. Like if I've run multiple restaurants, then I'm more likely to understand if another restaurant is going to succeed or fail. And if that person approaches me on if I want to be a silent partner, if I know that they have a high chance of succeeding, then my risk is much lower. That's why knowledge and background is so important. Number 5, franchises. A lot of franchises are pretty much self-run. If you buy something like a McDonald's, you're always gonna have business. The company takes care of renovations, hiring, training, all of that for you. You just basically have to buy the franchise. Now the problem with that is a McDonald's can cost you anywhere from $1 to $3 million depending on what part of the country you're in. Also, they require you to have $750,000 of liquid cash so you could keep the McDonald's running if something happens. There are smaller, cheaper franchises such as Subway's or like a bubble tea shop or something, but they're higher risk, less stable, and you're gonna have to do more work. Do you see a pattern here? The safer the investment, it's usually lower returns or you need more money. The more risky it is, the higher returns, and well, the more chance it's gonna fail and you lose money. Number 6 is Amazon FBA. So how Amazon works is you can send Amazon your items and Amazon will take care of all the packing and shipping for you. Now this does come at a price since you have to pay Amazon to do all of this for you, but theoretically it is possible. The thing is, you have to find an item that will likely sell. Then you have to source that item from a manufacturer. Then you have to order like a couple thousand of them and then send them to Amazon. And you also need to make sure that that thing sells so you didn't just buy thousands of useless products, right? There's a lot of upfront work for it, including product testing, finding out what sells, what doesn't sell. You can make it work, but you just need a certain skill set to do it. Actually, I tried to do this myself. 2 years ago, when fidget spinners were a huge thing, you know, these things, you probably remember them, right? They were everywhere. I bought thousands of them from factories in China, and actually I sold them myself on eBay. I did end up selling thousands of them, but I did all the work. I did all the packaging, I did all the mailing, and I was actually in the process of getting approved to sell on Amazon, so I can just send them all to Amazon and have Amazon do all the packing and shipping. The problem is, you probably already know, right? You don't see them anywhere anymore. That item was a fad. So before I actually got approved to sell on Amazon, the fad already died. Now, it didn't work out for me, but that was just the product that I chose wasn't the right product. I still made thousands of dollars, so I know that selling on Amazon is definitely possible. Just, it takes a lot of setting up, and also you need to have the right product. Number 7, copyrights and licensing. Now, if you invented something and you have a patent on something, and a company wants to use that patent, they have to pay you. Or if you are a star in a very popular show, say something like Friends. That show has concluded years ago, decades ago, but you still see it once in a while somewhere. Every single time that show runs, the original actors make some money. Or say you create some sort of music, they want to use it in a commercial or something, you get paid for it. But you really need to be able to create something special that somebody wants. Number 8, peer-to-peer lending. So peer-to-peer lending is basically you lend money to somebody else and they promise to pay you back with a certain amount of interest. This method is pretty high risk because a lot of people who use peer-to-peer lending are people who basically won't get approved by the bank for a loan and they try to borrow money from somebody else. Very high risk, but usually a higher interest rate. Number 9, as promised, this is what I do. If you've seen any of my other videos, you probably know I'm into real estate. So my form of passive income is rentals. Buy a property, hold it, rent it out, get money every single month. Pretty much that. Right now, I'm actively managing all of them myself. So for me right now, it's still an active investment. It's not passive income since I do have to work for it. But eventually, when I grow big enough, I'll hire a property manager to take care of everything for me. At that point, it's just passive. I just own houses. Manager finds tenants, manager takes care of complaints, manager collects rent, and then the money just comes into my bank account every month. Well, at least that's the dream. Eventually, I want to get to the point where I can own like a 50-unit building or something. Now, number 10, what I'm trying to set up. Number 10 is basically this, YouTube. YouTube pays their content creators based off of ads. So eventually, if I can grow large enough, then YouTube will put ads on my videos, and then whenever, say, 1,000 people watch one of those ads, I get a couple dollars. What I like about YouTube is there's really not much setup cost. I had to buy a camera, buy lenses, buy a couple lights, but it's also a small capital investment compared to the other things in this video. My goal is to provide a lot of valuable information, teach people things about investing in real estate, and if I can make a couple bucks from it, that's great. So if you like this video, show some support, show some love, hit the thumbs up, write a comment down below, hit the subscribe. All of that stuff will help me and my channel grow. Possibly, eventually, maybe, hopefully. But again, yeah, thanks a lot for watching.